Hey everyone, Daniel from DJD Brooks, and today I have another LEGO City update for you all, and today is the 5th one, and this will either be coming out at the end of 2022 or the beginning of 2023. How I'm recording this, I've got parts of what I want to do, and hopefully later on in the week, when more parts come, I'll have more footage filmed for me to get a good video coming out. So yeah, let's get into it, because I've got a lot of updates to share you on. By looking at the first module, we have the park. Now, last time I mentioned I wanted to potentially look into getting a second, I don't think I said this in the video, but I was tempted to get a second picnic set because I felt like it looked really cool to have a second one, and I did. So I managed to put a second tree there, and I managed to also get a bench, the second bench to fit directly right next to it, which is quite a tight spot. I've got random studs here because with the second order that I've done, I'm hopefully going to have the gates as well, so hopefully I'll have the gates in where they'll go in place, and then I'll be able to work on more of this, and obviously also the fountain I hope to get the parts for as well. And I've kind of filled it up with a lot of foliage. If I just lift it up slowly, you can see a lot of foliage around there. I've not really done much on this side because obviously I need the space for the path and the fountain and then the gates, and then maybe after that we'll see how much space is left before I fully decide to either call it there or add more foliage. But I essentially just rated all of my foliage to use, and obviously you can see right there and right there I've added some of the 1x1 circular ladybird tiles to go there, and I'm tempted to start tiling off the top here, and I've also added a few jumper tiles as well, mainly because I kind of need it. So yeah, that is all I've done for the park. Now looking at Nelson and Murdoch, I've got a bit to do. Obviously I've constructed this, which is out like a bunch of 1x1s, 1x1 tiles, well, to put right there, because when I was doing it I realised, hang on, it's a 4 wide and I've got like an extra gap there and it looks really awkward, so I've put that right there. I don't have any more 1x1 off in black, so that's what I've done. And I was debating either using another one of these constructions of like 3 1x1s to go at the back here, so like to almost go there, or I use bright red ones, which would almost add a little bit of like variety. But when looking at it, it just doesn't look right, so at the minute I'm not entirely sure. I may go with this for now, but just to remind myself that I need to order more 1x1s in dark red, so I can do that. And speaking of stuff I've ordered, I've got a few more 1x2 dark red masonry bricks, so let's honestly jump into a quick time lapse and build them on. So it's looking at what I've done so far. I've made some excellent progress in terms of the wall. Obviously, you see I did a bit more. I did 2 more layers up there, and also finished up this part because obviously there's a part without any bricks. I still have about 12 bricks left. Now, obviously, you may be wondering why am I not doing these bits here. But when looking at when lining up how the modulars work, I'm actually going to put plain bricks there, mainly because when looking at it, I was looking at it pretty carefully, and I actually mapped out to where the normal modulars end and when I typically end my modulars at the very back. This is how much it goes over compared to the modulars. So obviously I still want the masonry bricks to go around, but from this bit to up here, when compared to other modulars, you won't be able to see it. So what I've thought is to save money on masonry bricks when you can't see them, is just to put, you know, regular 1x2s in. Now, of course, you may be wondering, well, minifigures going inside are looking consistent. Yeah, but most modulars I'm probably going to be showing the interior of anyway, so that's the case. Obviously, I've got a lot done here with the wall. Obviously, I've decided to use the red just for now because the reason why is because at this point, I feel like it just makes sense to actually, and then I can order it and then just take them out, because it'd be pretty easy to then take it out because of how it's built. So for example, if I then place it like this, it's pretty easy to do, and honestly, I think this will be the last layer I do. Just like that. And you notice I did make a mistake at one point because I put it on the inside of it. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to continue because I'm not sure if I'm going to try and put 1x1s or 1x2s right there to keep it consistent with that. But there is one other thing I want to do, and that is in fact place it in the door, which I can do right here. We can see there's stuff there. And honestly, what I may just do now is actually just place the last few bricks on, because it now keeps it pretty consistent. So I'll just do that. Now noticing actually, there does seem to be something that's actually interesting. Obviously that's 1x3. Oh, okay, I know what's wrong. I've just realized what's wrong. With this one, I've just realized that no, that won't connect because that's not got anything underneath like that 1x1s. Because that lines up perfectly, so that's all fine. But I need about a 1x4 in dark red potentially, so for now I'll leave it like that, but I'll leave them there. So that really just leaves me with 4 bricks left. So I think that's a lot of great progress done, but I've still not finished because I got a few more things. I've got a few more 2x2 tiles and 1x8s. Now, I'm not going to use the 2x2s, I'm going to use it on something else. But I'm just going to take 2 of these and just place them on this modular like that, completing the front of it, which honestly makes it look so much better now. I have ordered about another 100, that's in a different order, which would be in the second order, which, as I've mentioned, hasn't come yet at the time of me making this segment of the recording. But that will all go towards the, I think, either the park and the pub, because in that order there's also enough tiles for me to finish up the floor of the pub. So again, pretty exciting progress, hopefully will coming soon. But yeah, that is really all I can do for Nelson and Murdoch at the minute. So let's move on to the pub. So yes, now here we have the pub, which was a module that I only showed off in the last episode of the city tour. Well, not city tour, but in the LEGO City building series. But I've also put a few jumper tiles, and that's just because when looking at the modulars, they don't just have the tiles. They do have a few sorts of minifigures, and that's something I've decided to add in, which I've done with the park and the pub. Now, I do have a few left. I could add 1 or 2 spots onto Nelson and Murdoch, but honestly, at the minute, I don't have real plans to do that at this precise moment in time. But I feel like eventually I may do that. But yeah, looking at what I've added, I've actually added the rest of this in. I used a lot of 1x1s because that's the only thing I had in mass of, which looks a little bit weird if I'm going to be honest, but I actually kind of like it because it just adds to the effect of it. I'm probably going to do a dark stone grey roof to contrast with the black. The walls are almost done. Again, some of the parts I've ordered will hopefully allow me to finish the walls. So the plan with the second order that I've got is the floor here, which I've already started to do some stuff because if you look right there, I've added a few 1x1s, mainly because I need to. I've got the 1x1 stud there, and there's another one up. If I bring that down, yeah, that's for the toilet doors, which are also hopefully coming. But yeah, obviously I'd also have to get a few like 1x8s for like that bit there, because obviously that is in line there. But obviously I do have spare 1x1s in case if it doesn't use the whole space. But yeah, what I'm also going to do is I think just add the tiles on. So yeah, I think we should do that in a time lapse. So let's get this time lapse beginning. So yeah, I've now done the pathway. I was kind of hoping a little bit that this would be done, but honestly I need 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 5 left. I've got another 100 on the way, which I was hoping to use most of for the parkway. But I think there should be enough where I'll use up 5 for this to finish up this, and then also the park. But yeah, that, I think it's really exciting. So having most of this done now means that I'll be able to put minifigures on. Obviously, none of this was obviously used on Nelson and Murdoch. I think that will be, either when I do another batch of it, or maybe there'll be some left over to do it. But yeah, I think this is really exciting to finally have a lot of this done. I'm really happy with how this one's turned out. Obviously, I do want something to go here. I'll probably make like a custom sign to go there, I think. Obviously, a lot of stuff randomly in the interior. What I like to do is if I have specific parts for a modular, I'll just put them on the inside of it and just be loose around in there, which is why you can see a bunch of stuff there. That's mainly because I may need it, so I just want to keep it with the modular in question so I can remember. And yeah, that is really all I've done on the pub. So let's go on to one last thing that I can actually do. So when looking at Nelson and Murdoch, I just realised I hadn't added any studs onto the door, which would mean no character be able to enter. So I found 2 1x1 black studs, one to go here and one to go on the other side. Hopefully this works and it can... Apparently it won't work. Wait, really? 1 second. Yeah, it seems like the stud keeps catching. Well, I guess that side's just not getting a door then. Getting a doorknob. That's all fine. But yeah, another thing I've realised I can do is either use a 1x4 reddish dark brown to go on there, or, in fact, let's move this close so you guys can see, or I can just take this out and swap it with a 1x4 dark red to go with the rest of the building, which honestly, I think the dark, you can't really tell on him. You can't really tell. But I honestly think that, in fact, let me just show you guys again. In person, you can really tell the difference. But it's a 1x4 one. It does make sense to have a little bit extra on top of it as like a door frame. So trying to test the light. Honestly, I feel like for me it just comes down to personal preference, and I think I'm just gonna go with the 1x4 dark red, mainly because it just allows it to seem better. So I can add this on top, and it just makes it look better, I think. So that now adds all of that in total. And if I do that, that should line. Why does that not? Does that not align? Okay, that doesn't actually line, which is very odd on either side. So honestly, I guess it doesn't matter either way because I'm having both on there. That's really weird. Yeah, you can tell now. That does look weird. Also, didn't I have a red one to go there? 1 second. Yeah, so yeah, just a reminder for now. No, I had a red. But yeah, that's all I've done really for the Nelson motor, which honestly, I think this looks spectacular. I want to test the height comparison of it at the end of the video, or maybe the next segment, I don't know. Or compared to another module, like how does that look like for its first level? Because honestly, for all I know, that could be the top of the first layer, which would honestly be great. I would love to have that almost done. But yeah, moving across here, we have the park. Obviously, and you may know I'm moving this, I'm going to place, I hope if you can see it, I'm going to place the rest of the things here on that, and I've just realized that doesn't help at all, actually. This is why I wish I carry a brick separator with me all the time. There we go. My classic one here. If you're a LEGO fan, just keep one of these on you at all times because they are incredibly useful. I'm actually going to take up this part of the pathway, which was actually from the park itself, because it kind of leaves me with an awkward number, and I don't particularly like that, so let's do that and see what that gives. That still gives me a random 4. But don't worry, I have a 4 there anyway. So again, we'll also place down the other ones over here. I really hope I do have enough to do this, because that'll be really fun to get this done. Because I can't remember if I ordered any more tiles. Yep, turns out it thinks I need 4 space. Okay, that's fine. I also got these 1x2s I can just place on here like that. So yeah, that is actually the park pathway, like in terms of the very outer line for both these modulars completed. Honestly, pretty happy to finally have that, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm really happy with that. So yeah, that's really the end of this part, and yeah, I'm actually really happy with this, because if we add this all in, it now looks like a proper street a little bit. If I just add this one, in fact, we can compare it a little bit. Move the park out of the way. That's 2 1x1s falling on the floor, don't worry about that, guys. That's slightly taller. I'm going to need to double check with the modular, because this actually at the minute is 1 brick taller than the rest of it, which is very interesting. I'll have to double check that, because honestly it just means it makes sense. I may show it, I may compare it in this video, so yeah. Yeah, I'll get back to you with that bit on that button actually, guys. I'll see you guys in a minute. So after thinking about what module to choose, I've chosen the bookshop as a comparison. If I just take the top of this off, I already loosened it anyway because I don't want to struggle on camera. I'll do this. It's still not 100% yet. If I just do that so it's in line like this, and I build up like that. So put a brick there, and honestly for now, just put another brick here. It's 2 more layers I need, so that's fine. 2 more layers is not bad. And so I'll take them off for now because I want to save them. If I put them in line again and do this, you guys see what I mean by when I mentioned before with why it stopped at this point with the masonry bricks and I didn't go any further. That's why, because the modular here and all basic other modulars from LEGO end at this spot. But for me, I've gone to the very end because I want to maximize the space. I don't know why LEGO doesn't fully do that sometimes. Like sometimes modulars leave like a little corner, sometimes leave a pretty big gap. I don't know why. Because honestly, there's a lot more space you could have, a lot more, like for example, inside the bookshop, if I just move this out of the way. You could have a lot more space in there, like maybe another bookshelf or something like that. But I guess it would be hard anyway because you've got the staircase. But it's one of those things. But that's where it all lines up. Hopefully the Technic pins are coming. I think I ordered 4 in dark red because it just makes sense. And then I'll need to find 1x2s in dark red to go on top to line it up. And then I'll need to sort out other things, like for example, get more 1x1s or maybe 1x2s. But yeah, that's all very exciting. I'm really happy with the progress I've actually done on Nelson Murdock, considering I haven't showcased this for several months. I think the first episode was back in August. I think it was like end of August and a week later. No. Yeah, it was like mid-August, I think. Then the second episode, which was on Prison Restaurant, which wasn't planned at all, was a week after it. Then update 3 wasn't until like more than a month ago, and then update 4 at the time this recording was like a week ago, something like that. So this hasn't been seen since update 1, which I think is pretty insane to think about. But I'm pretty happy with the progress. I'm happy to have that done, and hopefully there'll still be some 2x2s, Darkstone Grey tiles left to put on this. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah. So I was actually looking at the reference material for the Nelson and Murdock building because something fell off, because obviously I was questioning with this bit and I didn't build up more there. Is that there is another line of grey. Now, if you take the line up there, it should be... Don't break up. I'm going to just mark it in now with masonry bricks in light grey. Like that. So, just do that. Mainly because I have got a ton of masonry bricks from like pick a brick journeys, so now I'll do that. Comment down below if you like that. I know, but that is obviously 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's a 1, 2, 3. 1 second. 2, 3. After 3, that needs to go there. Which, if I'm looking at it, means I can easily move stuff, which is great. Which is why I mentioned when it comes to that, easy. I don't have enough masonry bricks on me. But you do get the idea. Fact. There we go. I have just enough. I managed to find one. So that's like that now. And then I can obviously put that to there. In fact, no. But yeah, I think at this point I'm going to go into another time lapse to kind of build up from where that mistake was. Because honestly, while I haven't decided to keep in the masonry bricks, I may have to get a few people's opinions. If you have one of your own, please comment them in the comment section down below. And because there isn't any masonry bricks, obviously, of a clip. So it would make logical sense for it to be a regular colour. But I don't have those regular colours. Well, not in that, like, I have them in 1x6s, but that's too big. But yeah, I'm going to jump into time lapse to fix a lot of this. So yeah, let's get right into it. So yeah, looking at this, obviously, you notice at one point this is pretty unstable here. I'm probably, when it comes to connecting it all together, I'm probably going to have to put that going across and that going that way, so it's pretty secure. But for now, like with these two, they're pretty unstable, they can easily come off. At one point I was kind of confused what I was doing with actually doing the patterning, as you saw a few times in that time lapse. I need to probably get another 2 1x1s just for the front, but then if you look at the back, I've still got a few to get. I don't know, I kind of like the masonry brick being used. A part of me actually wants to turn it around, actually. I've got... pretty uncomfortable there. Obviously, I've got one left. I need like another brick to go above it anyway. I think it's like... I'll have to double check the measurements, but honestly, when it comes to it, this is pretty cool as it is. So yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this now. I'm still need to check myself about the masonry bricks being used there. Maybe when it comes to the next update, it'll be an off-screen thing. I've turned it around or I have changed it. I don't know. I haven't yet quite decided. Yeah, but also from the back, you can see a masonry brick there, which I think works really well. Because you can just sort of see it going there. See it there. Obviously, there's also sort of been done there as well, which I think really does work. I'm pretty happy with the Nelson and Murdock building. Obviously no Matt Murdock here because I didn't need him for the set. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So yeah, that's what I need to do for Nelson and Murdock. So guys, I am pleased to announce that obviously for you it's only been a few seconds, but for me it's been an entire day. But more parts have come for me to work on my 3 modulars. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'm really excited for this. So yes, by starting with the first bag, which is this one right here, you can see there's a lot of pieces here. And obviously, this is all these parts. Now obviously there's a lot of 2x2 dark stone grade tiles. I mentioned that in my last clip. There's also a ton of tan tiles. So yeah, let's honestly get into it. I'm going to just move things I don't think I'm going to need immediately. Like so, I think. I'll even be able to work on some of the walls actually, so that's very exciting, I think. But now that's enough. This is obviously for something else. But yeah, let's get right into another time lapse. So as you guys saw, I actually took out the side wall here, mainly so you can actually see me actually putting down tiles, and I'm really happy to actually have all of it done. I do have a few left over, not as many as I thought. I've got a few here, I've got a few here. But yeah, I've now gotten the entirety of the floors done. Now you'd also notice the chairs were coming off a few times. Either I was taking them off or they just came off. The chairs aren't going to be like that when they finalize. If I move this, you can see they don't line up there. I'm going to make them like stools. That's something I want to eventually do. But for now, I just don't have enough of the resources to make stools. So I need to work that bit out as like the next step. Yeah, this is all the tiles I had left. So I have a few left. I was getting a little bit worried at one point when I was getting to this bit, like, have I actually got enough? Because I got to like calculating like 40 and I was like, 100 should be enough since it's close to half of it. But I am really happy with this bit, so now I can put this back in like that. And obviously you may be wondering, what about the dark stone grey tiles? I still have a ton right here. What is that for? Since I've actually finished the front of this tile, which again looks fantastic. I'm really happy to finally have this done. But honestly, these are actually now going to be used for the park. So I think we should head into another time lapse to do the park. So yes, really happy to have most of this done. What I didn't foresee during the build process was that there would be an odd number here and here. Little note about that, I did quickly just check to see if I had enough 1x1s to cover it all up, but unfortunately I don't. These are all the ones I had like left over, which is really cool. I'm probably going to now use these on the Nelson and Murdock building, so yeah, let's get on to putting them on there. I was not expecting that. I did just count, and I've got 6 2x2 dark stone grey tiles left, which is obviously pretty cool. Now, I have decided, I think, when I mentioned it in the last segment of the Nelson and Murdock building, I am probably going to order just regular 1x2 bricks. As much as I like the masonry ones there, I think it just makes more sense because this is a regular plain brick, obviously because it's a clip, then I'm going to do the same thing. At the back, I've also done the maths for it as well, for it to line up, and obviously I've done that pretty rudimentary, just so it's as minimal bricks as possible, and so we can have that like that or something. So I know I need to order more around there. Probably within another order I do, hopefully it will have masonry bricks in, probably some regular stone grade bricks as well, which I think is pretty cool. I'm honestly pretty happy to have the front done. I was tempted to leave spaces for more jumper tiles, but honestly, I don't think I will. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So while looking in the pile of bricks there's a lot of black bricks, which is for the pub, but something I want to do quickly is with this one right here. Obviously, you can see some parts there, but there's also some dark bricks. If I pull that out, you will notice that I got some 1x2 Technic bricks. And I've also managed to find, magically, I found 4 1x2 dark red studded tiles, which is really cool. So if I get the 4 on here, which is really awesome to actually have. I was actually worried I wouldn't have enough when I was finding them, but I'm really glad to have that. So now it means if I can do this, I can put that one there, and that one there, and finally That one right there, which honestly completes a lot of what I can do for Nelson and Murdoch. So yeah, let's move on to the next part. To finish up on some of those sections, obviously, we have some more clips, which I will probably in a time-lapse in a minute put around there, and some of these pieces that I actually want to do for a fountain, which is really exciting to finally have. The only things that hasn't come for the park yet is actually the gates. I could wait for them to arrive before finalizing this video, but the first 20 minutes have really been the first bulk, and obviously I'm recording the second part all in one go. I haven't checked to see how long each section is, so I don't know how long this video will be, but I'm predicting somewhere between 25 to 30 minutes. At this point in time, I'm going to wait for another update to do the gates, because honestly that may be one of the last parts for the park, along with potentially getting more parts for the fountain, with like, for example, the actual water features and the rest of the bricks. So yeah, let's jump into a time-lapse now. Yeah, during the time-lapse, some of you may have noticed that I've kind of ran into a little bit of a problem. Obviously, I've got 4 clips left over because I want this to be like double stacked, but of course I don't have the gates to clip them onto, or even more 1x1 white bricks to build it up a bit more. But if you notice, I thought about having a 4 stud gap. So if I zoom in very quickly, you can see, yeah, it looks good for sizing wise, but yeah, it's very difficult to get to the that. And obviously also the pathway going around is going to be very interesting to do as well. That's one of the reasons I'm actually glad I haven't done anything for the pathway for a while, because of this fact that I wasn't sure how big I want it to be. If I look at like having it as a 2, I'm going to just have everything going by 2, I think. I think it does look better, and obviously I have a few bricks like that. Ooh, that one's not 3 actually, just realised that. Let me just move it in by 1, move that in by 1. It does look better. Sorry, just fill that in. It does give me more space to work with. I actually think I may stick with a 2, because honestly, looking at it, I think as much as I think a 4 would be better because it's more ambitious, I think because of the constraints I have within this park, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to have to leave it there, I think. So now I can have pathway going round, the gate still has enough space, there's still space for a minifigure to walk down to get to the benches, which is all fine. Obviously, I need to get one more 1x2 dark stone grey brick. I probably have one somewhere. I may find one to go there. And then obviously looking at the pieces I need. Obviously, I want to order some water bricks. I think I'm going to need a few of them. It's going to be very interesting to see how I do that. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with that so far. So yeah, let's move on to, I think, one of the last sections, which will be the pub. Obviously, before I get into a time-lapse, I also want to say I did find one 1x2 stone grey brick to go on the fountain. So the fountain covering done. And this is the amount of bricks I have, along with this, and all of these for the pub. So this will be probably the longest time-lapse out of it all, because I'm going to put out the bricks and everything. So yeah, let's not waste any more time and just jump right into it. So I finished the process. Wasn't as long as I thought it would be. As you there's still a lot of bricks left over. Yeah, there may have been a slight miscalculation of how many bricks I actually needed. Now, yeah, there's a lot left over. But honestly, I used up all of my black bricks before ordering more bricks to actually get this far anyway. So, if I'm going to be honest, it works much better that I've got more now, because a lot of 1x2s are going to be very useful for set design if I want to do some more stop motion videos. So these bricks are going to be used in the future, so it's not like I've not wasted money. It's like I've just bought more than I needed to, and well, it just makes more sense to do this now. So yeah, let's get on to one of the final parts, and honestly, it's an overview, I think. So, overall, for potentially the last update of the year, I think this has been the episode with the most progress done. Obviously, episode 2 had the whole Parisian restaurant being done in one episode. Obviously, with the park being done, we had quality of life, and then we had update 4, which had a lot to do with the park. I think this update has probably been the most successful because it's updated 3 modulars, which, like what I did with the first one, the entirety of the walls are done for the pub, which is something I'm really happy to do. I just need to do more on the interior and the roof. Nelson and Murdoch has had more of the front bin done, which is brilliant, and even some of the back as well. and I know where I need to go with ordering pieces for that one. The park is almost finished. I generally think the park, if I just move forward, will be the first one to get finished. I generally do believe that, because I just need to do the water fountain feature, which has got the studs in it in a minute. I've got to do the gates. I've got to do the rest of the path, so I need to order a few more studs for that. And then I'm done, I think. I don't see myself adding any more foliage, because I think spacing-wise I won't need any more. But honestly, the park will be the first module to be completed. Obviously, ordering a few 1x1s or 1x2s to go in the front there. That'll be awesome. And then that's it for this module. It will be done. And honestly, I'll probably do a segment of the update it's done in. Placing it in the city. At the minute, it's going next to the boutique hotel. There is another module I want to go there, and that is the Sanctum, but I don't have that one yet, so that's its current placement. But I'm generally really proud of this modular. I really want to get your guys' opinions of this module in the comments down below, since these 3 modulars plus the new shop, which hasn't been worked on as well for a while because I just haven't gotten the interior parts yet, or the roof parts I need. At the minute, I think I'm really proud of the modules I've done. I can see these are the first proper mocks I've been fully built as a building. I think this is pretty cool, I think. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching this video. I'm so sorry it's so long. That was never the intention. Honestly, thought 20 minutes would be the parts I'd have for the first half and the second half. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. Please sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And honestly, at this point, I've been meaning to say this for a while. Thank you all for 100 subscribers. I've not fully said in a video, I don't think, but I was going to work on a 100 subscriber special. That's the minute falling through, honestly. So just thank you all so much for subscribing. If you have subscribed, maybe consider subscribing so you can get more LEGO City update videos, some stop motion videos. So yeah, I will see you all in another video. Okay guys, goodbye.